What's up, fragrant world? Welcome back to another Stay Fresh production. My name is Justin Copeland, and on this channel, Stay Fresh Productions, we talk about everything fragrance related. If you have any interest in that kind of content, then you are in the right place. Please do yourself a favor and do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing and you can always change your mind later. And please hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I drop a new video. As I've said many times already, this is my favorite time of the year whenever it gets a little cold, at least now that I don't live in the Midwest anymore, because it's not quite as cold where I am now as it was there. So I can really appreciate the cooler weather now. And I really love pulling out my colder weather fragrances. I've already done a couple of winter lists. I did a top 10 cheapie list, which I'll link somewhere, maybe down below. But please do check out my top 10 niche list, which I just did not long ago. You want to check out those picks. I got some new picks there that you should really look into if you're looking for some new fragrances this season. And I do have some newer fragrances here that I have not talked about much, and definitely ones that are not being talked about a lot across YouTube in general. So I'm really excited to bring some new additions to my collection your way in this edition, this 2020-2021 edition of Top 10 Designer Fragrances for the Winter. Yes, we're talking about designers. These are a little bit more affordable compared to niche. These are more mass market, more mass appealing fragrances. They're gonna appeal to more people. They're gonna be more accessible. You're gonna be able to find them in more places, either in stores or online, with some exceptions for some, but they should all be pretty accessible. So let's get right into it. First, we got a couple honorable mentions. First one, I did feature on my cheapie list, which is funny because the second one probably would be a better fit for that list, but I didn't have it yet. But the one I did talk about was Armani called Profumo. Had to include this here. One of the best designers on the market, still in my opinion, at least in this genre. Aromatic, sweet, warm, lavender, mandarin orange, tonka bean, maybe some leather. It's a little ambery. It's really beautiful, great for a night out. And the next honorable mention, I'm still getting to know the scent, which is why it is an honorable mention, but I'm enjoying it. This is from Yves Saint Laurent. This is La Nuit de l'Homme Electrique. I honestly kind of slept on this when it came out. I didn't even bother with it, but YSL was doing a 50% off sale, so I really had to try it, and I got a great deal on it. I think it might be discontinued, so I picked it up. This kind of has a Versace Eros vibe. It is sweet and aromatic and very playful, almost bubblegum-like, but it's nice. Performance isn't great. It's not as good as Versace, but it'll still get compliments if that's what you're looking for. Real easy to wear and real pleasant stuff. If you want to help me out here on YouTube to continue doing this at a regular pace, putting out content that I love in front of these lights, in front of this camera, and to still pay my bills as a content creator, you can help support me down on Patreon. I have a link below. You can participate at various levels. Each tier comes with different perks, giving you different access to me and my time. I give you exclusive content there. We have a whole private chat room. We can do private one-on-ones if you want to. We do private live streams, everything. Please consider joining the Fresh fam. Would love to have you. Again, links down below for that. Here at number 10, this is a gorgeous scent that you can find at your local Sephora. This line is carried. The brand is called Seven Virtues. And this fragrance from their collection is called Vanilla Woods. I think I've touched on this before. This is such a beautiful scent. It's not really all that woody. It smells mostly like vanilla and apple, almost like a caramelized apple with a nice deep richness to it. There's a little bit of a freshness to it. It uses essential oils, so it actually is quite strong. I wouldn't say it's beast mode. They must have a very, conscious ratio of oils versus alcohol in here. So it's pretty dense, but it's not beast mode, but it will last on the skin. Beautifully unisex. If you wanted to smell kind of succulent, this is a nice gourmand leaning scent for maybe the nighttime. Again, beautifully unisex. Check this one out, Vanilla Woods. All right, here at number 9, this is a fragrance that is well loved throughout the community. You watching this, you probably know this and love this yourself. And if you have not heard of it, I recommend checking it out. But this is well known. This is Dolce & Gabbana, the one. This is the Homme Parfum version. I do have a decant of another one of the flankers of this. I'm not going to talk about it now, but we'll be talking about that later. I still have to try it, but this is, again, a classic. I really do think this is a modern classic. This is going to be timeless. This is a timeless fragrance. I'm calling it now. Nothing really smelled quite like this DNA in the designer market when it came out, and nothing has really smelled like it since. Beautiful tobacco, amber, kind of has a freshness to it, maybe some grapefruit in there, but mainly sweet, warm, a little bit earthy, very seductive, very versatile too. Here at number 8, this one is new to my collection. I've loved it ever since it came out, but honestly, yeah, it took me like 4 years to decide to finally pull the trigger on a bottle on this one, but I'm glad I did. Oh yeah. This is a beloved one from the collection of the 1 million line from Paco Rabanne. This is 1 million Privé. Nothing new. This is like a sweet, warm apple pie, a little bit of a freshness up top. Very classy, but also very seductive. The sweetness is really nice. A simple note breakdown in here. There's no apple in here. Everyone says about this apple pie, which I get, but there's no apple. You get cinnamon, you get mandarin orange. There's definitely some tonka bean. There is some myrrh. And I think there's even a little bit of tobacco in here. It's a great scent. Not what you would expect out of a bottle that looks this tacky, but beautiful scent. Okay, here at number 7, a lot of you are gonna be upset that this is so low on the list. The only reason why it is because I don't wear it that much, because it is very particular. There's a particular scent profile, and the potency of it just makes it kind of hard to wear all the time. But mainly the scent profile is very, very specific. This is from Dior, Homme Parfum. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Hard to find these days, at least in North America. Man, I know they have an updated version, which I have not smelled. I don't think it's available in the States, and I don't really expect it to be. But I recommend checking this one out if you can. Again, it's hard to find in the original form, but I think the new one is not all that different. People say that it smells a little bit like Dior Homme Intense, but maybe a touch beefed up. So it might not be quite this, but man, this is good stuff. Powdery iris, has that almost cosmetic makeup feel to it, but very classy. You definitely get some rose in here. You get a little bit of a dark oud, and definitely a lot of leather. This is a bold scent. It is a statement maker. If you dress this up, you walk with confidence, you will turn heads. Here at number 6, one of my all-time favorites in my collection. It's moved down the list a bit. I think this was number 1 last year, but here it has moved down. I have some that have kind of pushed it down a bit, but still a great scent. From Azzaro, this is Wanted by Night. Kind of a quintessential winter designer fragrance. I could not do a list without this. This is also based on a sweet cinnamon, maybe some also tobacco. So cinnamon and tobacco, like that Paco Rabanne, but you also get some vanilla in here. It's just a little bit sweeter, a little bit more on the bubblegummy side of things, which kind of comes from the original Wanted's DNA, but it's still dark. It has this nice kind of rough muskiness as it dries down. And this definitely gets compliments. I love this stuff. That is Azzaro Wanted by Night, the revolver scent. All right, here into the top 5. Man, it was tough to order these up, but it had to be done. At number 5, we got Ultra Male from Jean Paul Gaultier. A guilty pleasure of mine, sweet vanilla, pear, lavender, cinnamon. Oh my gosh, it is. I just think it's so seductive. It's playful. People call it a clubbing scent. I think you can wear this just about anywhere if you control the sprays. I'd say 2 to 3 sprays of this. You can wear it during the daytime, maybe to a casual event, or even to work if you're careful with it. I think you could pull it off. It is quite sweet, but don't put on too much and it won't be so loud. I think it smells fantastic. I'm gonna have links to all these fragrances down below. All right, here at number 4, we have an all-time favorite of mine. This is an all-star. La Nuit de l'Homme, the original. This is a kind of a vintage bottle. This is from 2013. I've had this bottle for about 4 or 5 years now. And I haven't obviously used a whole lot of it. This is actually quite a few wears, if you can believe it. I think I've worn this thing at least 30, 40 times. So it takes a little bit to get to a 100 ml bottle, especially when you have a growing collection, but always will be one of my absolute favorites for the fall and winter. You get a fresh, cooling, spicy cardamom, maybe some lavender in here, bergamot. I think there's caraway in here. There's something that makes it kind of sweet and cakey and a little bit thick, almost vanillic in a way. I've never been sure what that is, but I love it. This is very seductive stuff. I definitely get compliments when I wear this. La Nuit from Yves Saint Laurent. Don't worry about the newer formulations. I think they're fine. You just might have to spray a little bit more, but they smell great. All right, here at number 3. This is not really a quintessential winter scent, but it does have a little bit of a density to it that I think will serve well. And this could have made number 1, but the other 2 that I chose ahead of it are just a little bit more wintry. So I had to be real and put those first. But this one, you gotta check this out. This is a sleeper. This is a sleeper. No one really talks about this fragrance from one of my favorite fragrance houses, if not my favorite, to be honest. Everything about this screams quality, even down to the bottle. From Cartier, we have L'Envol de Cartier. This is the original, the Eau de Parfum. Now, not the original bottle. The original bottle design had this bell jar thing and it was kind of unstable, and they ended up doing away with that. So now you have just a one-piece bottle. So heavy. This base is so thick, heavy base. The design, the shape, the feel is just amazing. And you can get this for $60, $70. Maybe I did on FragranceNet. My favorite thing about this that I didn't know about when I bought it is this design that reveals the atomizer. It twists up and down. You can see how it like retracts. How cool is that? It becomes flush. That is amazing. Now, what does it smell like? This is such a classy fragrance. I get violet leaf, I get honey out of this. I get a little bit of a spicy black pepper and some iris for sure, and a little bit of vetiver as it dries. This has similarities to Bulgari Man, the original, which also has this honey, violet leaf, and vetiver combo, but that one is so wispy. It dries down so light. The vetiver just kind of shines through the most as it dries, and it just becomes a vetiver scent. It becomes a little boring. It starts off beautiful, but just gets a little drab. This retains its legs. It stays sweet all the way through. It has an herbaceousness, but that honey note keeps it kind of thick. You do have some amberwood in here. It gets quite woody as it dries. I think this is great for daytime in the winter. This is so nice. You got to check this out. I cannot believe the quality that Cartier puts into their fragrances and the fact that people don't really talk about them. But please do yourself a favor and check out Cartier L'Envol. This is the Eau de Parfum. There's also an Eau de Toilette, which I have not tried. I heard it's just a little fresher and lighter, more transparent, maybe better for the springtime. But this one, this is what I'll be wearing quite a bit. So classy. All right, here at number 2. This is also pretty brand new to my collection. This one surprised me. I did not expect to like it as much as I do. This is from Guerlain, from the L'Homme Ideal line. I almost put the Eau de Parfum here in the list, but this one barely edged it out because I think it just has a little bit more of a kick for the winter because it is quite spicy. This is L'Homme Ideal L'Intense, however you say it, I don't know. This is amazing stuff, man. This has that original DNA. It's sweet, almost cherry-like. You get that leather, you get that almond, which is kind of creamy. That's all there, but it actually doesn't have the cherry in there. It actually has a little bit of a rose note, which I think it's a kind of a jammy rose. It's a sweet rose, which almost lends this feeling of cherry. I think it's a Bulgarian rose. But you start off things with cardamom and chili pepper right off top. So like I said, it has a super spicy kick with that almond, which has a nice creaminess. The Bulgarian rose mixed with vanilla and tonka bean make it sweet. Sandalwood, which is creamy, and you do have some labdanum and leather, which make it leathery. Even a touch of a smokiness in the background. This is stunning. This is stunning. I think when it came out, people weren't crazy about it, and therefore I didn't even look into it, but man, I was impressed by this. and it has good performance. I get a good 7 hours out of this maybe. Check this one out. Again, I'm gonna have links down below. Good stuff, really good stuff. All right, here at number 1, nothing new, but new to this year, but people have been talking about it a lot. I think it has topped a few lists, and it's topping mine because it is just stellar. Again, from Cartier, Pasha the Cartier Parfum. If you haven't checked this one out yet, do yourself a favor. This is boozy, almost like a cognac. It's almost resinous in a way. It's warm, it's sweet. There's sandalwood in here. It's a little bit creamy. It has almost a touch of a vintage vibe to it, reminiscent of the original, but not quite as aromatic or spicy. More, again, sweet, warm, rich, creamy, a little boozy, and just stunning. I get great feedback on this one when I wear it. It's very classy. I dress this up. It does very well, and it has great performance. You're gonna get 8 to 10 hours or more, no problem at all. Check this one out. It needs more talk. I know it's being talked about here and there. I've talked about it a lot, but it's for a reason. Pasha de Cartier Parfum is my number 1 for my winter designer fragrances. Now it's your turn to let me know what will be your go-to designer fragrance for the winter. What's really warming your bones? I want to know. Put it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. If you like the video, please like the video. It really helps me out. It helps with my visibility across the YouTube platform. And please subscribe here. Once again, if you haven't subscribed yet and you've made it this far, then please consider doing it. Again, you can always change your mind. If I make you mad one day and you just decide to leave, then I won't even know. But I'll bid you adieu spiritually nonetheless. But I hope you consider hitting that button, sticking around, and I hope to have you as a part of the Fresh Squad. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.